Welcome to Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This is Tasha Cadence, and here is the seafood news for the week of November 25th, 2019. In this week's episode, we report on what happened to the market for Vietnamese Pangasius. An oversupply and slower sales have caused the price of Vietnamese Pangasius to plummet from its high in 2018 in what vendors are hoping is now the bottom. Throughout 2018, Pangasius producers enjoyed high profits and high demand when prices made its bull run from $2 a pound US dollars in January to $3 a pound in May, where prices flattened for the year on your standard 3 to 5 ounce frozen fillets in the US. Then in January 2019, prices started falling, transitioning into a bear market where prices fell about 40% to where we are currently now at $1.93 a pound for 3 to 5 ounce frozen fillets. This begs the question, what happened to the Pangasius market?
This week's 3-Minute Market Insight is brought to you by Tradex Live, the world's seafood marketplace. Go to live.tradexfoods.com to find your seafood today.
The main cause for prices to skyrocket throughout 2018 was because of supply issues in Vietnam and high demand for Pangasius from global markets. According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, poor weather conditions and disease caused fish seeding issues, sending raw material prices to increase as well due to a scarce supply of fingerlings. Supply issues coupled with high demand in October 2018 resulted in many delayed and canceled orders. Also at this time, consumption of Pangasius in the United States increased about 40% due to a reduction in anti-dumping duties on Vietnamese Pangasius, while demand also recovered in the EU market. According to Vietnam's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, total Pangasius exports reached $2.26 billion US in 2018. The positive performance of Vietnam's Pangasius export in 2018 was driven by good demand across multiple markets, with the most significant growth seen in China. Fast forward to 2019, and prices of Pangasius fish have dropped to some of the lowest levels in 10 years. Export difficulties, more stringent technical requirements in China, and higher tariffs on exports to the U.S. have led to lower Pangasius fish exports and higher inventories, according to the chairman of Vietnam Pangasius Association. By September 2019, the total export value of Pangasius reached $1.46 billion U.S., down 8.5% over the same period in 2018. Within this same time frame, the total export value of the U.S. market reached $208.3 million U.S., down 43.6% compared to the same time in 2018. USA is currently the second largest importer of Vietnam Pangasius in terms of export value to Vietnam. As for the EU market, the total export value reached $189.3 million US, which is an increase of 7.3% compared to this time in 2018. Moving on to the key market for Vietnamese enterprises, the export value to China and Hong Kong accounted for 30.9% of the total Pangasius export value, reaching $450.7 million US. Up 19.6% compared to the same time in 2018. Our recommendation is to seek out high-quality September to November 2019 production Pangasius, now that raw material prices have come down. Despite all of their success into the China market, Vietnamese producers are, at the same time, mindful of increasing competition from China as they increase their own Pangasius production efforts. Although China remains some distance behind in terms of production, capacity, and quality, they will surely reach higher levels as they advance their aquaculture capabilities. As a last note on this, it should be recognized that Vietnam's dominance is not only due to volume, but is also a consequence of its efficient and technologically advanced industry with a focus on quality, meaning it will likely be some years before Chinese Pangasius producers can compete directly in the Chinese domestic market. Now onto a segment we are calling the Buyer's Corner, where our Pangasius specialist Nathan Brown will teach you on how to buy Pangasius.
Just to add to our recommendation a little bit more, do not get fooled with the low-priced year-old or almost year-old product out there. This is stock brought down in price to be blown out as it's old and almost stale dated in a falling market. As the raw material costs have gone down, you should be able to buy high quality September, October, November 2019 production at low prices. Why buy year-old or older product when brand new product is available? The idea is to grow your sales and sales of Pangasius. Old product will not increase your market share. Now let's move on to how to buy Pangasius. Don't be fooled by low quality Pangasius. As with all fish, not all are processed equally, which causes a variance in pricing. And most likely, the chances of reorders with poor quality fish aren't going to be that high. When purchasing Pangasius, it is important to make sure that what you are buying is 100% net weight. Always ask this question, without fail. Why would you want to pay for only 80% when you can buy 100%? You're paying for the 100%. Also, make sure that your fillet is 7 to 9 ounce deglazed, not with the glaze on it. You want to make sure you're selling the proper size. As well, Pangasius should be well trimmed and contain white meat only. Don't be fooled with trim and red meat. Also, one of the most important factors is the STPP soak. STPP is a preservative, but it also adds moisture to the fish. Essentially, you are paying to dilute the fish with a saltwater phosphate mixture. Doesn't that sound appealing? This can add up to 50% weight to the fish. It will also deteriorate the quality of fish, taste and cooking appearance, etc. Some processors soak in bins or tumblers. Others actually inject the fish with needles. Ask the right questions when buying Pangasius. When was it produced? Is it 100% net weight? What is the glaze percentage? Is it well trimmed? Is it white meat only? What is the moisture content? What is the percentage of pickup during STPP treatment? Ask your vendor for pictures of the fish, and if you're buying a significant quantity, ask your vendor for a copy of their independent inspection report during production. All the questions that we just mentioned do not even scratch the surface as to the quality of the plant processing the product. Is it HACCP, BRC, SQF? How would you know? What lab tests are conducted? Are moisture tests conducted? Who inspected the fish? At Tradex Foods, we have our own QC inspectors inspecting raw materials, processing, final inspection, and loading of our production in Asia. We also audit all the plants to make sure that you're only getting the best quality fish. This is our 7-step process in action, not just on paper. Feel free to contact us for any questions you have about Pangasius or any other fish, and we'd be happy to provide you answers, regardless if you're currently buying fish from us or ever will. We want to educate buyers how to buy quality fish to grow their business.
Joining me for the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This is Tasha Cadence. Buy smart and eat more seafood.